He's 500.
Hey there.
Hi everyone.
How's it going?
So on Monday, remember I said to you guys I screwed up the grade book and I fixed it? Yeah, I did fix it.
Oh no.
So I saw that things were still messed up. I fixed it yesterday. Now it's really fixed.
Oh no. Why? Wait, it's fixed. My grade dropped 7%, but nothing changed. Did you fix it today, like just now?
No, yesterday's when I fixed it.
So how did my grade drop 7%?
Because the test weight was wrong.
Wait, it's gonna drop it more?
The test,
I'll give you like
the
this.
test weights
It's kind of broken.
are supposed to be 50%.
Can I take it back?
50. Yeah.
You won't take a purple pencil, are you serious?
Hello.
Hey, you guys have papers.
What?
There's some for you to work.
I'm so scared. Did you grade that?
My grade is still 69.
So, okay, but now it's fixed, right?
How's your day been?
Yeah, now this.
I don't know,
Have you seen the pie eating contest?
I did not, I
Who
was.
won? Troy won.
Oren's
Troy
not
won.
here.
Oh, good. Alright. Today.
What are you learning today?
Today,
What can we possibly do?
we're gonna look at 14.3. Okay, 14.3 is ostensibly the same thing that we did yesterday with a little
You didn't have
twist.
class yesterday.
I'm sorry, same thing we did last time. Thank you, Grace. I did it yesterday still. I do this every day. It's the same thing we did yesterday with a little added twist. Okay? Instead of being equations, we're gonna now have inequalities.
Oh no.
Okay? The good news is, that is so embarrassing.
I don't get embarrassed.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm embarrassed for you then.
I'm sorry about that.
The good news is, the first 2/3 of these problems are identical to what we did last time. Okay?
So,
The last third will be like continuing on a little bit further. Okay? So we're just gonna do the same thing that we did last time. I'm just gonna do examples. We're gonna talk through the technique of what we do to do this. The beginning parts are gonna sound a lot like what we did last class. And then there'll be a little bit of tack on to the end. So it just builds off what we did last time. Everybody's okay? Sure. All right. Oh my goodness.
did you watch the pie eating contest?
I didn't. I had class.
I'm sorry. It was. I can show you my main story.
I heard that Troy won. They all told me. So if you're gonna try to tell me that, I already knew.
You don't let your class go? See?
They're taking a test.
What?
They're taking a test. So
You could have made their day by not making them do it.
you're just like, yeah, but it's like it's AP calculus. We got like stuff we gotta get done.
Take home test.
They have to like pass an exam at the end of the course.
Well,
I
same
do
with
that.
us.
No, like an AP exam. Like money's at stake. Your exam doesn't give you any money.
Why are we forced to? Oh.
You know what I mean? Like their AP exam, if you do good, you can like that's college credits. That's like thousands and thousands of dollars, depending on where you're going. This class, there's no AP exam. You're getting college credit for it. It's not worth any money. You know what I mean? We'd be like, like putts along a little bit more in this class because at the end of the day, like we try to get done as much as we can, but like we get done when we get done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. So we're solving. Actually, let me do this for my own. different about this solving problem than usual solving problems?
I would agree with you.
It's an inequality as opposed to an equality, right? Everybody see that? How many solutions does an inequality typically have?
One.
Infinitely many. So typically we're gonna write the answer for an inequality as a interval notation. Everybody's okay with that plan? Okay. To figure out the intervals, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw a sign diagram. S-I-G-N, sign diagram.
Mary.
To draw my sign diagram, I need to get two things to start. I need the zeros for the solutions to the equation and any places where the function is undefined. Is everybody okay with that reasoning? We'll explain what we do with those in a minute. I always like to handle the undefined part first. Oops. So what type of function is this? X squared minus 4. What type of function is x squared minus 4? What do we call this thing? Polynomial, perfect. That's exactly what I'm looking for. It is a difference of two squares, but I'm looking for polynomial. What do we know about the domain of any polynomial?
No.
It is all real numbers. Is there any place where a polynomial is undefined?
No.
No, because its domain is all real numbers. Everybody's okay? So this part is done. Done. We just did it. There's nothing. Everybody's okay? So now I'm going to be concerned about where this polynomial is equal to 0. How do I solve something like x squared minus 4 is equal to 0? I could factor that, or I could add 4. Either is okay. Let's say we factored it. Emma's already pointed out this is a difference of two squares, so how does it factor?
X minus 2 and x plus 2.
Great. So what are the zeros then?
2 and negative 2.
X equals 2 and negative 2. Everybody's okay with that plan?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. So now I'm going to draw my sign diagram. My sign diagram is a number line. On that number line, I care specifically about two values. Guess what two they are? 2 and negative 2. Because those are the zeros, and I don't have anything that's undefined. Everybody's okay? So far, so good? If I plug 2 in, I get a 0 here, right? Is 0 greater than 0? No. So when I draw my number line, should I use an open circle or a closed circle at 2 and negative 2?
Open.
Open. Everybody's okay there. Now what I'm going to do is these zeros have divided my number line into 1, 2, 3 separate intervals, right? Everybody's okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a test value from each of these 3 intervals. So I'm going to pick any number less than negative 2.
Is this factor line analysis?
Sure. I call it a sign diagram. I'm going to pick a value between negative 2 and positive 2. I don't know. How about 0? And then something between or bigger than 2. Maybe. Everybody's okay with those? Quantities I've chosen? Okay. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to plug those in to the original function and see what I get. Negative 3 squared is 9, and minus 4 is 5. Zero squared is 0, so minus 4 is negative 4. And then 3 squared is 9, minus 4 is 5. Is everybody okay with that? Where am I plugging these numbers into?
Your equation?
The equation that's equal to 0, right? Or in this case, inequality equal to, inequality 0. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to look at these three numbers. 5 is positive or negative? Positive. Negative 4 is positive or negative?
Negative.
5 is positive. In this problem, we care about where we are greater than 0, correct? We care about these two intervals. This interval starts at negative infinity and goes to negative 2. Is negative 2 included in that interval? No, why not? We drew it with a open circle. Since it's not included, we use a parenthesis. And then my next interval,
Negative 2 and 2.
nope, negative 2 to 2 is negative. We don't want that one. We only want the positive piece. My other interval is going to be 2 to positive infinity. Does that feel okay?
Sure.
So notice that this piece here would be like the same thing we did yesterday, right? We also care about the undefined things, and then we build out this sign diagram and look at, okay, where's the part that we want, and we write our intervals. But the hardest part is the stuff that we did yesterday. Should we continue with more examples? Yeah, that's probably a good idea, right? We really only have 2 examples in this section. That's so dumb of you, Mr. Gulick. I'll make up some more on the spot. Let's do this guy. Again, my first step is to find where this function is equal to 0 or where it's undefined. Let's start with the undefined piece. What type of function is x cubed minus 4x squared plus 4x? Polynomial. What's the domain for a polynomial? Is it ever undefined? No. So that gives me nothing. Okay, let's solve this one. How are we going to solve x cubed plus 4x squared plus 4x? Okay, what do I do to start this factoring? Take out an x. That's a great choice. Notice that there's a greatest common factor of x here. That's always the first thing that I want to check when we're doing any polynomial factoring. Notice the resulting trinomial is quadratic, and the leading coefficient is 1. So this should be ideally something we can factor quite easily. How does x squared minus 4x plus 4 factor? X minus 2, x minus 2. Okay, everybody happy with it? We factored this completely. What are the solutions then?
Negative 2 and 2. Negative 2 and negative 2.
Definitely not negative 2. 2. 0. right? For this. X minus 2 is equal to 0, so 2. And x minus 2 equal to 0, so 2 again. So I have two zeros, 0 and 2. Now 2 has a multiplicity to it, but like we don't give a rip here. Guys, okay? Don't forget about that, the lonely guy X out front, he still matters.
So that's always 0.
You're just taking the coefficient out, or the stuff out front, set it equal to 0. Like every time there's a multiplication symbol, I take the thing that's being multiplied, set it to 0. Whatever it is. Deal? Okay. We'll draw our sign diagram. What numbers are going to go on my sign diagram?
2
No,
and 2.
0 and 2. What order do they need to be in? Smallest to biggest. They have to go where they go on the number line, people. Everybody happy? All right. If I plug 0 in for x, I get 0 up here. Is 0 less than or equal to 0?
It's equal to.
Yes, right? So should I use a open or closed? Closed. When I plug 2 in up here, I get 0. Is 0 less than or equal to 0? Yes. Should I use closed for that one? Everybody so far so good? Okay. I'm going to pick some test values now. So maybe -1, +1, and 3. I can plug those test values in here to the original, here to the partially factored, or here to the completely factored. It does not matter. I like to do this because at the end of the day, do I care what the number is when I plug it in? Not really. What I care about is it positive or negative? So this makes it really easy to tell. I'm going to use this one. When I plug -1 in for x, I get negative. When I plug it into x minus 2, I get negative, right? -1 minus -2 is -3. And I plug it in here, I get a positive or negative? Negative. Negative times negative times negative is? Negative. Okay. Now let's do it with 1. I plug 1 in here, I get? Plug it in here, I get? Plug it in here, I get? Positive times negative is? Positive. If it's easier for you, you can plug it in and get the number. I'm going to do this quick. Everybody's okay?
Yeah.
If I take 3 and I plug it in, I get?
Positive.
Is everybody okay with how I've completed my sign diagram? Everybody's happy? Now I'm going to translate that into my answer. What parts am I looking for? Less than or equal to 0, right? What parts of my graph are less than or equal to 0? Or my sign diagram, I guess. So this left-hand section, right? And there's one other spot. And 2. Right? And specifically x equals 2, this thing is equal to 0. So that counts as part of my solution.
Wait,
We'll show you how to write in a second. What?
why is it 2?
Because it's less than or equal to 0. Right? The 2 is filled in, it's included. Okay? Oops. Yeah, so how do I draw it, or how do I write this interval? Ugh.
Negative infinity to 0.
And then 2 to 5. Oh, union.
I need a bracket on 0. Why am I using a bracket on 0? Because it was a filled circle. And then we do a union. How do I do just 2?
Bracket just 2.
Close. I use a set notation. do some more, yeah? All right, let's see. Let's do. No, I don't want to do that. Do that. Oh my gosh. Guys, come on, Mr. Kulik. What are you doing here? I don't know. Do that. Sorry. Okay, what do I need to start by doing?
Factor top and bottom.
I'm gonna need to factor the top and bottom because my goal is to find the zeros and the places where this is undefined, right? How does x squared minus 3x minus 4 factor?
Negative 1. Wait.
Multiplies to give me negative 4, adds to give me negative 3, positive 4, or I'm sorry, negative 4, positive 1. How about the denominator?
2 and 1.
Nope.
Negative 2, negative 1.
Negative 2, negative 1. It is negative down there. So we've had it factored now. Everybody okay? So I'm going to take this. And I need to know where this is equal to 0. And then where this is undefined. Is everybody okay? Since this is a rational function, how do I know this is a rational function?
There's x's in the denominator.
Excellent. X is in the denominator. How do I find where can a rational function be undefined?
Yeah.
Definitely, right?
The denominator equals 0.
If the denominator is equal to 0. Okay, so to find where we're undefined, I'm just going to take the denominator and set it equal to 0. So what are my answers I get when I do that? 1 and 2. Great. Can a rational function equal 0?
Nope.
Yes. When is a fraction equal to 0?
Oh, and the numerator is
When the numerator is 0. Okay. Well, I just... Is everybody okay here? Okay. So I got everything I need to start building out my sign diagram. What numbers am I going to put on my sign diagram? In order that they appear in my sign diagram as I read from left to right.
Negative 1.
Nope. Oh, yeah, sorry. Negative 1, yes.
4, negative 1.
No. Negative 1. Then what?
1, 2, 4.
Why do they have to be in that order?
because it's from least to greatest.
Excellent, because the number line needs to go in order from smallest to biggest, from least to greatest. Is everybody okay?
Where's the 3?
Where's the what? 3 is not a,
Oh, never mind.
is not one of our answers to anything.
Okay.
Okay. Real important piece. This is something that the majority of you will miss if I do not make a big point about it right now. even if I make a big point about it right now, some of us are still gonna miss it, even though I'm gonna say it like 3 or 4 times. So if your friend isn't paying attention, or they're sleeping or something, give them a little nudge and be like, hey, what he's about to do is kind of important, so lock in and pay attention.
Lock in. Lock in. I'm
We're not talking about that before, bro.
She's not doing her work.
I said.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you're not allowed to.
Stay one.
So, the numbers for our sign diagram that come from the undefined piece are always open circles. The numbers that come from the zeros depend on the inequality, whether they're opened or closed. So in this case, we should have, because it's or equal to, closed. So we're going to have 2 closed and 2 open here.
Is it always defined if the denominator equals 0?
That's how you find undefined in a rational function, yes. Mary.
Why is it always open for undefined?
Because that value is not in the domain. So that can never satisfy, that's not an x that works at all. No number comes out, right? Undefined is not greater than 0 or less than 0 or equal to 0. It's not anything, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's always going to be an open circle because it's not actually part of our solution set. Okay, so let's fill things in. At -1, I get a open or closed? Closed. At 1, I get
Open.
open. At 2, I get
Open.
open. At 4, I get
Closed.
closed.
Wait, but -1 is bigger than 0, so why would that be closed?
Because when I plug -1 into this, I get
Oh.
0 over 3 or something, or 4 or whatever, I don't know, whatever, which is equal to 0, right? Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. Now that I've done this, what comes next? I'm going to pick my test values, right? How many test values am I going to need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. One for each section that my number line is divided into. So I'll pick something less than -1, something between -1 and +1, something between 1 and 2, something between 2 and 3, and something bigger than 4. Is there anything magical about the numbers I picked? No, as long as they're inside the interval that they're representing, it doesn't matter what you pick. But like, people, be sensible. Don't pick something that's really difficult to deal with. Like, I'm not gonna pick between 1 and 2, like 17 12s. Like, why would you do that? Like, don't make life hard for yourself. That stinks. Like, just pick an easy number to deal with, right? Okay. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to plug these in. I'm going to plug these into the factored form because all I care about is if my test value gives me a negative or a positive, right? So when I plug -2 in, I get
Negative.
and then here,
Negative.
and then here,
Negative.
and then here.
Negative.
4 negatives is?
Positive.
Is everybody okay with how we did that? Again, if you're more comfortable plugging it in and getting an actual number, that's fine. We're just trying to do this like quick at the minimum, but like if that works for you, then that works for you. Now we're going to be plugging 0 in. When I plug 0 in,
Positive. Negative. Negative.
3 negatives is
Positive.
Negative.
negative. Odd is negative, odd number of negatives is negative, even number of negatives is positive. Always, guys, always. 1.5.
Negative. Negative. Positive. Positive.
Okay.
Negative. Positive. Negative.
So negative, positive, positive, negative. Two negatives is positive.
Just stop. Just read that.
Let's plug 3 in. I get
Negative. Positive. Positive. Positive.
1 negative is,
Negative.
and we'll plug 5 in.
Positive. 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 Positive.
No negatives is positive. Is everybody okay with how I filled this in? All right, which sections of my number line am I interested in? Again, greater than 0, so I am interested in the positive parts. Is everybody okay? So how many intervals am I going to get here? 3. 1 for each section that's positive. This first section should go from not to -2, to -1, not the test value, but the number on the number line. And what do I put at the end with the negative infinity? Parenthesis, and at the -1? Bracket. Why, Addie? Because it's closed. Now we'll do a union. What's my next interval going to be?
1, 2.
1, 2. The 1 should be parenthesis y. It's open. The 2 should be because it's okay. I know Addie knows how to do this. Good job. The last interval should go from
4.
to
Infinity.
positive infinity. Okay. The 4 should get y because it's closed. The infinity should get y. It's always infinity. Infinities are always parentheses, right? You can never have a bracket on infinity. Is everybody okay with how we did there? Want to do one more? Okay, let's do one more. All right, I don't know, remember what letter we're on. Let's call it D. Oh, we have to do something here. Say that. All right, here, folks. What do you notice that's different about this one than all the other ones so far?
The bottom one isn't a polynomial.
Yeah, the bottom isn't a polynomial, right? It's a radical function. It has a square root around it, right? Oh no. What's that going to do to us?
Not much.
It's going to affect where the function is undefined. Because what kinds of numbers can we not take the square root of? Negatives. Okay, so we'll have to worry about that when we set the equation equal to undefined. That's where the square root's going to come in. Okay, but it's also still a fraction. So what other place is going to bother us where the function can be undefined? When the denominator is 0. The square root of 0 is okay, but since we're dividing by a square root, dividing by 0 is bad. So the division, we have to worry about dividing by 0. That's the fraction part. The square root, we have to worry about square rooting negatives. So there's two things that we're going to have to check on the undefined piece. Let's factor this as long as we're at it. How does x squared plus x minus 12 factor? Nope. Nope. There it is. Goodness gracious, guys. Do we need to practice this factoring again? Can't get our factoring straight. Practice with the touch until on the timetables, you know. It does look fun, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
It's brightly colored. Okay. The undefined piece was the part that we said we had to be careful about, right? Because it's a fraction. Denominator equal to 0. Because there's a square root. The stuff under the square root has to be greater than 0. Or sorry, greater than or equal to 0. It's okay to square root 0. Is everybody okay so far?
Is it always going to be like that?
For square root?
Yeah.
Yes. Always greater than or equal to 0.
I guess.
Okay. So let's do this one first. I guess I'm going to rewrite it this way. So I have room to work down. How do I solve square root of 2 minus x equal to 0? What should I do first? You should. It's like algebra 2.
I don't know.
What's going to cancel out the square root?
Or if you square root the other side. Square it.
Squaring both sides.
Take me out IB.
Is that okay? So far so good? Then what do we do? Plus 2? Minus 2, right? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, guys. Oh my goodness.
I knew it, I just did it wrong.
Okay, we'll give you the credit for that. And then the last thing we do is divide by -1. Okay. So far so good?
Okay, I just read 4,400.
Now let's do the inequality.
4,000.
What do I do there?
Subtract 2.
Subtract 2, I love it. Okay, then what?
Divide by -1.
Okay, what do you have?
Flip the inequality.
Yeah, good job, Emma.
Good job.
So we do have to remember when you divide an inequality by a negative or multiply both sides of an inequality by a negative, you flip the inequality symbol. Okay. Now let's go and look at this piece here. Any questions on how I did this piece? Everybody's okay? What are these guys going to be? We know that the undefined stuff is always open. What about the equal to 0 stuff? Depends. What does it depend on? It could be open, could be closed. Depends on the inequality. Since it's a strict less than, this should be open or closed?
Closed, open,
Open.
open.
Or equal to is closed. Strict is open. Everybody okay?
Yeah.
All right, let's piece this together now. So what three numbers should go on my number line in order that they should appear?
-4, 2, 3.
-4, 2, and 3. Everybody's okay? Open, open, open. Is everybody good there? What are we going to do with this part?
Fill in the, what are they called?
What that means is that everything less than -2 doesn't matter to us.
Can you explain that again?
How are we supposed to know that?
Well, if x is less than -2, I'm going to be square rooting a negative. No answers are going to come from an undefined piece. So when I have an undefined piece that's part of an inequality, that just allows me to cross off whatever that inequality is. Okay? So again, when I get an undefined piece that's an inequality, that just allows me to cross off my number line, whatever that inequality is.
Which would be negative?
X are less than or equal to 2.
Oh, okay.
So everything less than 2, I'm just crossing off.
Oh, okay.
I don't have to do anything for that. It can't possibly be part of my answer. Does that feel okay?
That's fine.
Okay. So how many test values do I need here?
2.
Just 2. Everybody okay with the test values I have chosen?
Yes.
Okay. Here's the good news. If I take the square root of any number that's greater than 2, what am I going to get in the denominator no matter what?
0.
A positive, right? You can't get a negative number that comes out of a square root, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's okay? So the bottom's always going to be positive. So all I care about is up here. Lily, go ahead.
Can I go to that?
I know. Yeah, go ahead. If I plug 2.5 in,
Positive.
and then this part is always
Positive.
positive, so I have
Negative.
that part, the whole thing is negative, right? One negative is negative. If I plug the 4 in,
Positive. Positive. Positive.
everybody's okay? And then because we're doing a less than, which part do I care about? Our inequality at the beginning was negative, or was in less than, so I care about only the negatives. How do I write this interval?
2. 2, 3.
Okay. Parenthesis on 2 or bracket?
Parentheses.
Okay. On the 3?
Parentheses.
Why?
Because it's open.
Because they're both opens. That's our answer. What do you guys think on this? It's mid? Okay. Again, most of the solving, right, like this piece here and like this piece here is basically what we did last time, right? I should say this piece here. So for your guys' homeworks, you guys should be able to do, I don't know that I want to do all of these things. Let's go to say, what do I want to do here? I don't care, 56 is fine, 35 to 56, we'll just, well, is it too many?
A little bit.
This
yeah.
is quite a few problems.
Can you do it a little less?
How many less?
Like
Like
15 months.
6 or 7 more.
15 less?
Yeah. When I get all that homework, I don't even want to do it. It's like not even manageable.
Whoa. Even.
Oh,
Nice.
Thank you for.
And then do we have a homework set due this Sunday? I see it in the end.
Yeah,
Okay, then there's not. It must
Except-
be due next week.
Is that what is that?
No.
Oh, that's what's next Sunday.
Yeah.
What was due on Sunday last
No.
Next Sunday is the worksheet.
Yeah.
Yes.
1 to 36.
Yes.
And also
Just 36 of it.
and
1 through 24 was already due, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it has to be like something after that.
24 to 36.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Something like that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I wrote it on my master calendar yesterday. I was trying to remember which numbers it was.
So,
calendar, whatever that
one,
means.
because the grading thing, you know how you switch the tests to 50% and the final
Oh, I
exam?
fixed.
Yes,
I
fixed.
fixed.
Sorry,
Yes,
sorry,
okay,
sorry.
that's okay.
I checked and I did not
Oh,
know that I had
no,
two
it's not.
assignments, one being in Delta Math and one being backwards.
Okay.
If I can get you
right.
the
How's
Delta,
that math go for you?
you don't even really need to grade it if it's passed. Can you just like put it in?
Yes, I don't want him
And
to
then
add
the
any
homework
more
was
and try to understand this, like probably one thing.
Next class.
Next meeting. Except we don't have any time next week because of Irish. So
Feel real hyped
maybe
today.
we can find like time at the end.
Yeah.
Feel real hyped today.
Thank you. I didn't know because
Very you.
for some
You
reason
wanna
didn't
get my
cut it in. Or I didn't like see it.
Yeah, it happens. It happens.
Drop.
Thank you.
Hit it, my man.
I can't get back.
Why do you just adjust it?
Yeah, it's like 5-minute time limit, though, okay?